All right, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another video. This one's going to be doing another Walking Dead video for today, leading up to, I guess, a third Walking Dead series. We'll be doing sort of a Dead update in this video from this week. Lots of new news to go over with you guys and give our thoughts on, starting with the third Walking Dead series being officially greenlit now by AMC for 2020. Oh man, it's good to be back. I hope you guys had a great week this week. Sorry I didn't post any videos throughout the week. I had to fly away for a workshop meeting type of deal. So I was gone from Monday through Thursday. Got back Thursday, but then I was jet lagged and I had to sleep. And so finally, able to make a new video with you guys, able to hang out with you guys as per usual. So that's fun. And there's lots of new stuff for us to go over from this week. And a lot of people have been asking already about Black Summer. Which is, if you don't know what we're talking about, I've done some videos on that one leading up to now. It has premiered now. It's a new zombie apocalypse series from Netflix. So it's the first Netflix North American zombie apocalypse series that they've done. And they've got the whole first season on Netflix, so you can watch it if you haven't seen it already. I'm hoping to watch it in the next couple days once I get some time, because I'm going to be a bit backed up with, after doing the trip and everything, just get backed up with work and everything. But once I get caught up, I'll definitely watch that through and post a review for you guys, hopefully this weekend. Of course, Game of Thrones is also premiering this weekend, so definitely can't miss that. And it was good, though, because it was a perfect time for me to kind of go away, because Walking Dead had ended, the week prior with its finale, so luckily it wasn't during a Walking Dead week that I had to go, but it was good, and just really happy to be home and to be able to do the usual thing with you guys, man, hang out with you guys and have some fun. So the first one, The Walking Dead's third series, is officially greenlit now for 2020. So this one is pretty good news, I think. When it comes to weekends where we don't have new episodes of The Walking Dead on, it's going to be cool to have that third series and see what they can do with it. I just hope that it turns out better than Fear the Walking Dead did, where you have, and not to hate on Fear, because you guys know I do enjoy Fear, but to speak for the community, it is super divided, with people who actually are fans of Fear. Fear the Walking Dead is easily the most hated Walking Dead property that's out there. More people hate Fear than anything else that has the Walking Dead's name on it, than I want to, except for that video game that nobody bought, right? But as far as like the TV series goes and the TV series universe, and even the comics too, Fear the Walking Dead is probably the one that I personally hear people complain about the most. So hopefully with this third series, they're going to be able to create something unique, or they're going to be able to create something really good that people do like, and it won't be so polarizing where you have, kind of like less than half of the audience that actually enjoys it and wants to give it a chance and wants to watch it, and the other half that just hates it and wishes that they just collapse it and bring the characters into the original Walking Dead series. So here's the details. Link will be in the description from Entertainment Weekly. It says, not unlike the zombie virus right after the outbreak, the world of The Walking Dead keeps spreading. First, there was the 2010 smash hit adaptation of the comic book. A year later, Talking Dead with Chris Hardwick made its debut, so that was Season 2. Talking Dead started in Season 2. It did not start when the series started, if you guys remember that. Then the companion series Fear the Walking Dead was launched in 2015, and last November it was announced there would be a trilogy of The Walking Dead films starring Andrew Lincoln's Rick Grimes. Now add another one to the body pile, so that's for for next year. We've got the original Walking Dead series. We've got Fear the Walking Dead. We're going to have the Walking Dead movies, and now we're going to have the new third series. So that's 4. So basically 4 television series products for us coming, the movie, and then the 3 TV series for Walking Dead. So they're really expanding it a lot, to the point where it sounds like pretty much every week of the year, or majority of the year, every Sunday there's going to be a new episode of something Walking Dead related. So that's really cool. And also with how much the original series has changed, I think it's really good, and it should kind of move away from that whole, well, it's not the original Walking Dead, right? It's not the Walking Dead. It's not the Walking Dead I knew, because the Walking Dead that's playing right now is not the Walking Dead that any of us have known. It's not the Walking Dead of the comics. It's not the Walking Dead the prior with Carl and Rick and Michonne and everybody, it's going to be completely, and Maggie, it's going to be completely different and completely, it already has been totally reinvented. Time skip Judith and everything. So that's really cool. Then it goes on to say AMC has announced it is green-lighting a third scripted series set in the world of The Walking Dead. According to the network, the series will feature 2 young female protagonists. Okay, and focus on the first generation to come of age in the apocalypse as we know it. Some will become heroes, some will become villains. In the end, all of them will be changed forever, grown up and cemented in their identities, both good and bad. So let's just go over this again because it's quoted here. Will feature 2 young female protagonists. Okay, so we've seen some younger female protagonists, like I'm thinking Alicia from Fear the Walking Dead, because she was pretty young when the series started in the first season, like late teenage years or teenager in high school, that kind of deal. So that's pretty young. So young, maybe younger than that, we'll see. Of course, there was Lizzie and Mika, right? And then there's Charlie. Okay, so 2 of them, 2 young female protagonists, and focus on the first generation to come of age in the apocalypse as we know it. So the first generation to come of age in the apocalypse. Because we've seen to come of age. So we've seen, since the first series premiered, we've seen basically a decade, right, for the characters pretty much now after all the time skips they've done the last year or two. Like over a decade of time has passed. So for a generation, okay, well, this could be interpreted some different ways. You guys can certainly leave your comments below. Let me know what you think about that part of the kind of come of age in the apocalypse as we know it. Does that mean that we're going to see it in the future? Does it mean we're going to see its timeline closer to the beginning of the zombie apocalypse, or all throughout, sort of something like what we see with The Walking Dead with time skips? I guess we can't really say 100% for sure right now. And then the part, some will be heroes, some will be villains. So some will adapt. Right away it makes me think of like Cain and Abel. Like maybe you have 2 female young protagonists at the beginning, they're together, and then maybe you have one kind of become a really good guy, maybe that'll be our main protagonist, and then the other one maybe become like a villain, and then maybe, season 2 or season 3 or something like that, you have them sort of clash, right? And then maybe the good one defeats the bad one over time. Or you could go edgy and go the other way, right? Have Cain win. So we'll see what they do. Grown up and cemented in their identities, both good and bad. So maybe growing up and like maybe even more time. So we'll see what they do. Maybe they really like this time skip idea and they want to do it even further in a series. Maybe that could be cool. They've already done so much in the last year with the Walking Dead series, and even with Fear, they did a lot of skipping around too in the timelines. And it worked out great, I thought, personally. The series was created by Chief Content Officer, it's okay guys, Scott Gimple, right? And Walking Dead producer Matt Negrete, who will act as showrunner. Okay, so he's really good because he's done a lot of the stuff. So for him, he doesn't get a lot of credit for the original Walking Dead series, but he's pretty much always on the credits involved with a lot of the major episodes from The Walking Dead, or a lot of the standout episodes. So he's really, really good. He's part of what made the original Walking Dead series work so well. So he's going to be showrunning the new show, so that's good. And we'll start production on 10 episodes. Okay, 10 episodes this summer in Virginia to premiere in 2020. So that's for its first season. So that'll be 16 of The Walking Dead, 16 of Fear, that's 32, 10, that's 42, plus 1 with the movie, so that's 43. So 52 weeks in a year. So more often than not, not except for like 9 weeks a year, most weeks a year, you're going to have new Walking Dead. Probably taking breaks during like Christmas, maybe stuff like that, maybe back to school week or something like that. So we'll see, but a lot of the time there's going to be new Walking Dead on. Okay, cool. So then it says whether any characters will cross over from The Walking Dead or Fear in the same way Lenny James, Morgan, and Austin Emilio Dwight have recently moved from the first show to the second remains to be seen. Quote, showing audiences an unseen pocket of the Walking Dead universe steeped in a new mythology is a very cool way to celebrate a decade of the dead on TV. In over 15 years of Robert Kirkman's brilliant comic, said Gimple in the AMC release, Matt Negrete is one of the best writer-producers in The Walking Dead's long history. I'm thrilled to be working beside him to tell stories unlike we've seen before, taking our first step into an even larger world. self-explanatory. No, nothing for us to really comment on there. Next part. I'm beyond excited to be part of this new show set in the Walking Dead universe, said Negrete. Writing and producing for the original series has been the job of a lifetime, and I'm honored to be working with Scott and all the fine dead folks at AMC in this new capacity. I can't wait for the fans of the franchise to see what we've been cooking up. So that's very cool. And that's pretty much it for the article, for what we've got for the third series. So we'll have to see. We'll have to wait until we see a trailer. We'll have to wait until we see choosing two younger girls as the main protagonists for the series. We'll have to see. Maybe he's got some really good ideas. Obviously, they've had some great ideas. I would think he would have been involved somewhat with Rick leaving via the helicopter and him being helicopter boy and all that other stuff, as well as Scott Campbell. So some brilliant stuff that they've done so far. After all these years, I've got faith in them. They'll come up with some really cool stuff for the third series. And we'll see. And ultimately, we'll see which one is everybody's favorite. Will it always be that the original Walking Dead series is everyone's favorite? Is it possible the movies could trump that and people could like that even more? Is it possible for some people that maybe Fear is their favorite? And then we'll see for the new series if maybe some people like that even better. At least there's options and there's choices and you get to have different stories and, we all get to decide which one we prefer the most. Of course, so far, I prefer the original Walking Dead series the most, as I'm sure many of you guys do too. And Fear is, for me, an appreciated second, even though I'm constantly defending it and people just hate on it all the time. We got some updates for that coming too. Next one is for The Walking Dead Season 10 spoilers. Chandler Riggs speaks out on Carl Grimes' return. So there's not too much with this one. It just basically, had a headline for news, comicbook.com. Chandler was asked about returning to the role of Carl in later episodes and whether or not he'd be willing to do it. And he said that it'd be a lot of fun. He says, I'm super down. Yeah, that would be awesome. And then it says, while it isn't surprising Chandler would be eager to return to the show, the actual return for Carl would be a little difficult considering he is dead. Chandler could certainly return as a walker. Well, no, he can't, because even though he was shot in the head by his father, but as the show constantly changes, okay, so that's their comment. So no, you can't really bring him back as an alive character. You can't really bring him back as a walker, I don't think. You could bring him back in a hallucination type of way or a dream way, or maybe when Michonne leaves, you could do something with that. I'm not sure. But, I'm happy to hear that, right? I'm happy to hear that because they'll probably call him at some point. Let's be honest here, right? Do we really think that if he's willing to do it, that they won't call him for something? Like they're going to do 3 Walking Dead movies and the original series is still going, and we'll never see Carl again. No, we'll probably see him. We'll probably see Chandler return at some point, I think. If not, it'd be kind of stupid not to, because to be honest, it'd have a huge impact on the fans. You've got a lot of content coming out. You're going to be you're going to be wanting to have more because you have more hours to fill. You have a lot of time there for Rick and for the others that we're going to see in the movies and everything. And the original series going on strong, Judith and everybody. You could use them for lots of things. You could use them with Judith for maybe a dream sequence or something. You could use them with Rick. You could use them with Michonne. I don't know. There's lots of choices, right? There's lots of things you could do for that. So I hope we'll see him eventually again. We never did see Glenn return, but I think that's because Stephen Yeun has said a few times, and I think recently there were some interviews posted about that too, that he doesn't want to basically ever return as Glenn. He's past that. He doesn't want to, and that's fine. If he doesn't want to do it ever again, no problem. The next one was Strange, and this will be basically the last one for updates for this week. And it's about Austin Emilio, Dwight crossing over into Fear the Walking Dead. Lenny James said that he actually knew that Dwight was going to be coming over. I'll just read it. Quote, it's a very weird situation, but not in the way most people might expect, because I knew Austin was coming over from almost the moment I knew I was. So I've known for a while, James told Metro. So this is really strange. So at the end of All Out War, of course, before that, because Lenny James was in that already, so when they were producing or they were creating The Walking Dead Season 8, they agreed to the idea, or they went forward with the idea that they were going to cross over some characters, or at least we all thought Morgan. We didn't know there was going to be more than that, or at least not major characters. We didn't think that. But it sounds like they had already planned out to have Morgan cross over and then have Dwight cross over before Season 8 even ended. So when Daryl banishes Dwight, they did that on purpose because later they knew they were going to bring him into Fear. So that's kind of cool because that's going back a couple years now, considering Season 9 is over and Fear the Walking Dead Season 5 is about to start. So you had Morgan for 1 year, and then you had Dwight for the next year. So really smart stuff. I think it's good. They set it up earlier on enough in advance. It feels somewhat natural. You have, the group from Fear running all over the place trying to help people with Morgan's philosophy on that being sort of the meaning of life, or that being kind of contributing and helping others as being the real purpose, which I think that's admirable. Everybody, how can you not get behind that, right? Everybody's going to get behind, yeah, we should help people, right? So good stuff, man. But I'm very surprised that they had planned it out that early on in advance, because I didn't think they had. So that's strange to hear, but it doesn't really surprise me. It's sort of like the question of, which I hope one day will be answered, because I always wonder this. Did they kill off Carl in Season 8, knowing already that Rick was going to leave in Season 9? Like, did they kill Carl off first because they knew that Rick was going to be gone anyway? Or did that change later and then they had to adjust? So that's something that I hope one day we'll hear Scott Gimple or somebody answer, whether or not when Season 8 was running, if they knew that Rick was going to leave. Is that why they killed off Carl, or did they not know at that time until later? But based on what we're seeing here, it sounds like they kind of have an idea, at least a couple years ahead or a while ahead of what's coming up down the road. And, I wonder if that could have had anything to do with them killing Carl off, because they knew that Rick was going anyway, so they wanted to kind of, seal the deal on that. I don't know. So hopefully one day we'll get some more details about that. Maybe we won't. We'll see. So just a couple for today, because I don't want the video to go on too long, but I did have some questions from you guys from before, and keep sending them to me. There's going to be lots of videos coming up. Like I said, I'm back now, so everything should be good. I should be able to, start producing as per usual again. I didn't die, or I didn't become a zombie. I'm not outside wandering around. I'm not dead, guys. So don't worry. Everybody's sending me a message. Trevor, are you okay? What's wrong? Are you all right? It's like, no, sometimes, work gets in the way, and I can't always produce, as much as I want to all the time, because you got to keep the day job and stuff like that. The Walking Dead is not that popular, so, but I love it, it's good, and so good stuff. Just a couple questions. Brian Atram says, it's been confirmed that Season 10 will start with a time skip, so that's kind of a comment. So Season 10 of the original Walking Dead is going to start with a bit of a time skip. There was even a time skip in the finale episode. So they're loving this time skip idea right now. They're using it all the time like crazy. And I think it's worked out really good. So when Season 10 starts, it will not be the wintertime anymore. I don't even think it's the wintertime when it ends, because I kind of get the sense that Alpha and the Whisperers return because the winter's over now, so they can kind of come back north to their spot where they have their super zombie horde nuke weapon that they want to basically be in proximity to, because they see it as their guardians and they're part of their strength. Which you can understand that, right? I mean, if they can use them to their advantage, they might feel just sweet at home there, and they don't really care if the survivors are pretty close. They still probably view that as a sweet spot. Who's going to mess with them when they have that, right? And then the last one will be from Dice Flawless, who says, I just don't get what you are all so excited about in episode 15. Episode 15 was ridiculous. They just had a cutscene, and then everybody was dead, right? How is that okay? They could have at least showed them being captured. So it's kind of one of those, if you read the comics first, for episode 15, the comic book version, so you get to, when you see the TV series version, it translates like exactly, because you kind of knew what it was in the comics you see in the TV series. If you never read the comics, then maybe that felt a bit weird to you, that it was kind of like we saw these characters over here, the Whisperers kind of captured, Daryl and the others, the group that was over there, of kind of the the standouts in the series, and then you had the other characters that were supposedly, or you would think of them as safe, back in the Kingdom. And those were the ones that actually got, killed. And then the ones that were captured with Daryl and the others, our strongest characters, I'd say the main leads, like Carol, Daryl, Michonne, the others, they were actually safe. So it was kind of a twist that the ones that were in the most danger were actually safe, and the ones that seemed safe and back at the Kingdom were in the most danger. So they kind of flipped it on its head like that and kind of did it as a twist kind of way of doing it. So some people like those. Some people like the twists like that, like the Eugene bullets at the end of All Out War that backfire. Some people don't. Some people don't like that. They'd rather see the action and the fighting play out, which could have been really exciting, too, to see Alpha and the Whisperers actually capture people. But it kind of would be somewhat brutal to see that, and you wouldn't want to see her razor wire people's heads off. I mean, that would be, well, maybe some of you would, but that's so brutal. You'd have people just complaining so bad because it'd be so savage to see. It was brutal enough as it was in 15 to see all the pikes with heads on it. So I don't know if you didn't like it. I understand totally, no problem. But I thought it was pretty awesome. But then again, I've read the comics so many times over and was looking forward to it and kind of knew what we were looking at. So when I saw it, I was pretty impressed by it. But different lens to people who've never read the comics and people who have. Anyway, that'll be it for today's return video for you guys. I'll have another one for you tomorrow. Hopefully Black Summer. We'll try that. And then Game of Thrones for Sunday night, and more Walking Dead videos to come. If you guys have any questions you want to send to me, now's a good time. Send them to me through the comments below. If you have any video topic suggestions for Game of Thrones or The Walking Dead, or even Black Summer 2 is fine, or Fear, leave them in the comments below as well. And I hope you guys liked it. Good to see you guys again. Leave me comments. Let me know how your week was, how you're doing. If you liked it, thumb it up below, share favorite. And that's it for this one. I'll see you guys again soon for another video. As always, this is Trev, and I'm saying peace. Later, guys. See you soon.